The American Sim Racing Club, home of the fastest growing fixed setup league on the server, the Dirt Pro Late Model Series, presented by Horsepower Happenings. Every Sunday night on the Turn 3 Racing Network, watch the server's best battle for more than 50 laps at some of the nation's most grueling tracks. From the Bristol Dirt to the Charlotte Dirt Track, Kern County to Fairbury, over 24 drivers a week put it on the line for a shot at over $600 in the championship points fund. Join us every Sunday night at 9:30 for the ASRC Dirt Pro Late Model Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we got a good one here. We are at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for race number 9 of the American Sim Racing Club Living Legend Series. Tonight, these drivers will do 110 laps to decide who will walk away with the checkered flag on this very, very cloudy day. It looks like we might have some rain in the forecast, so we're going to hope it holds on off as we wrap up with qualifying here and get cars down on the front stretch here tonight to walk over tonight's starting order. Putting it on the pole is Brett Hahn in the number 71 machine. To his outside, he picked up the win last week. He's looking to carry that momentum through to tonight. It's the 86 machine of Stephen Hoffman. Row number 3 goes to row number 2. Starting in P number 3 goes to his teammate in the 55 machine. That is Scott Negus. Then rolling off P number 4 is the 95 machine of Greg Wellen. Starting 5th will be the 35 machine, our points leader of Hayden Swank, with Tanner Tallarico in the 1 rolling off 6th. 7th will be the 053 at Caleb Modulewski, with Sam Oliver in the 14 rolling off 8th. 9th will be the 87 machine of Noah Carter. Such a heartbreak we saw at Talladega. He's hoping for a rebound, and rounding out the top 10 will be the 48 machine of Tim Rogers. Starting in P number 11 is the 18 that is being piloted by the Canadian Devin McDonald. To his outside, starting in 12th, it's a 38 K&M machine of Dave Payton. 13th will be Brian Wildison in the 951 machine, with Justin Callahan in the 75 rolling off 14th. 15th will be the 2 of John DeMeester, with 16th being Kyle Munson in the 8. 17th will go to Jeff O'Quinn. It looks like 18th of Brett Baldick, not able to make the call here tonight. So 17 cars once again taking the green flag as we get ready to turn them on loose here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, as we get a little bit of sunshine, let's say, on the speedway. So changing track conditions going to be the name of the game as we get cars rocking and rolling here on the front stretch. These drivers, of course, doing 1 pace lap, and then it's time to turn them loose for 110 laps. It should be a good one, folks, as Charlotte, the home track of NASCAR, always puts on a good show. So the field of 1787 machines ready to get rocking and rolling. Brett Hahn leading the field to green. Stephen Hoffman, last week's winner, trying to go 2 in a row. Like I mentioned before, folks, we have had 8 different winners now with Stephen Hoffman going to victory lane. Sorry, 7. Will this be a 8th here tonight? As we get ready to go green flag racing, we will now wait for the iRacers pace car to pull down pit road. Then the 71 machine leading the field to green. Of course, Brett Hahn sits second in the points coming into tonight. He's hoping for a good point tonight over the guy that is starting 5th. Off of turn number 4, we go into the restart zone. Brett Hahn on the loud pedal. We go through the gears and go green flag racing here at Charlotte. Brett Hahn down and away Stephen Hoffman able to take over second, then side by side for that third position as Greg Welland gets the job done on the top side. So we take a look at the time and scoring on the left of your screen, but lap number 1 in the books. Brett Hahn will lead the field as we complete lap number 1. Further on back, we get some side-by-side racing action, so we go to that on track. It currently looks like Deb McDonald trying to get around the 848 machine of Tim Rogers here. They drag race down the backstretch, and it looks like McDonald able to get around Rogers. Now Brian Wildison will try and get around the 48 machine. Looks like Wildison able to get the job done there. Now even Dave Payton going around the 48. That Rogers car going in the wrong direction, let's say, as Kyle Munson almost attempted a little pass in the grass there. So everyone's single filed out, strung on out, let's say. First car ducking out line, the 14. First time start for this guy. Sam Oliver out here tonight making his debut with ASRC. Right now looking pretty good inside of the top 10, up 1 spot from where he started in these early stages. So besides that, all cars kind of strung on out, except for that battle for second now. Greg Welland trying to waste no time to get up to the front. Greg on the move here from the start, started in 4th. Now if he can complete the pass on Hoffman, he will be up into 2nd position, as that looks like the case. So Welland up into 2nd. Now can he race down tonight's race leader? 5 laps of the 110 already in the books here tonight. And so far, some of the biggest losers, as they sit. Noah Carter missing the start here tonight. So Carter had to roll off from pit road with those penalties. So Carter sits all the way back in 17th. He's going to have a lot of ground to make up and going to have a rebound here early, because right now not looking off to the best start for the 87 team. So right now everyone kind of running their own pace, trying to figure out what is the game plan. About 32 laps, good for fuel here tonight, so drivers having to keep that in mind. At least a 3-stop race, as it gets a little kind of crazy, let's say, in that middle stage on what you want to do. 2 sets of tires over the wall, so drivers gonna have to keep that in the back of their mind, as well as when do they want to take them as well. And slowly closing the gap to Hahn. He's about 2.5 tenths back at the moment. Further on back, it looks like Jeff O'Quinn gets around the 8 machine of Kyle Munson. So O'Quinn, first car to start moving lanes, let's say. He's running that middle lane. And this is Charlotte Motor Speedway. What that means is dynamic racing surface. So we'll see cars kind of moving and searching depending on what kind of strategy they're on. So right now we'll see the bottom getting used, but as this race goes on, and especially if we get some sun out here today, we'll see some cars moving around the speedway searching for that grip. So far it's been Hahn out in front the first 9 laps, but Welland is keeping Hahn on, as he is kind of hung around that 2 to 3 tenths back, and now closing the gap inside of 2. You can see the gap to the race lead about 3 to 5 car lengths, and Welland hitting that bottom side a little bit better than the race leader. Yeah, I wonder, is Hahn looking in that mirror, maybe overdriving this car a little bit to stay out in front? And then don't look too far back as well, as Scott Negus has joined in the fight a little bit as well. That 55 machine looking pretty sporty in these first 5 laps. Stephen Hoffman, though, doesn't seem to have the right strategy for the beginning part of this race. Maybe a big-time tire save in stint number 1, because he is dropping on back about a second and a tenth back from the race leader, now under heavy pressure from Hayden Swank and maybe even Tanner Tallarico, as Tallarico has caught the back bumper of the 35 machine. So some good racing here from 4th on back. Hayden Swank able to wrap the bottom of 1 and 2 a little bit better than Hoffman. Swank goes to the inside of the 86 machine. Swank will drift up the track big time. This could open the door for maybe even Tanner Tallarico, as Swank overdrove that corner trying to get in front of Hoffman. Hoffman now to the outside of Tallarico. Oh, Stephen Hoffman, big time blink. He comes back on the racing surface, but still side by side with this one car of Tanner Tallarico. They'll drag race off at turn number 2, but Tallarico's going to get the spot from Hoffman. Now Sam Oliver's looking to the inside of the 86 machine. So Stephen Hoffman on the wrong side of the freight train here early. Hoffman losing 5 spots in this opening stint. Caleb Modulewski, though, further on back, he lost 6 spots from where he started. So Modulewski and Hoffman either going big time save, or you got to wonder, is something up with these cars? Is that handling out to lunch? Jeff O'Quinn, one of the biggest movers at the moment, up 5 spots from where he started, able to get around people and running, like I said earlier, folks, that kind of middle line, putting those lefts right on that seam and then getting the car to rotate on down. You got to wonder, though, this early, is that killing the right front of this 94 McDonald's machine? We'll have to wait and see, as he is putting the pressure on the 48 of Tim Rogers. Further up front, Tanner Tallarico all over the back bumper of Hayden Swank. Let's ride on board with Hayden Swank, looking back at the 1 machine of Tallarico. Swank best lap of 32.5, last time by a 33.8. So these tires big time fall off here at Charlotte, as now Swank and Tallarico go door to door here in turn number 1 and 2. You can see how close these guys are racing. Still the early part of this race, but they know every position counts on this racetrack, because Talladega, we saw a big time shakeup. From here, what more could happen? Hayden Swank up on the top side, now under fire from Sam Oliver. Oliver in that 14 machine to the left rear quarter of Swank. Swank doesn't quite have the run here to shut the door, so Swank's going to be able to sail it on in there, able to drive down in front of that number 14 machine. One car very low. I think Scott Negus may have gotten the wall there off of turn number 2, so maybe that right front going a little bit, and you can see that thing struggling to hold down on that inside lane, so Negus might be falling here. As you can tell, a lot of fall off from these cars here tonight, over 1.5 seconds from their quickest times already, and these right fronts just going to be screaming for more mercy as this run continues, because we're still only halfway through our first fuel window. Sam Oliver all over the back bumper of Hayden Swank. This is the battle for 5th on the speedway. Swank trying to hold him on off. We saw Tallarico get around Swank. Now Oliver going to try and do the same. Oliver with a little bit of a run, but won't be enough. He'll have to follow in line for another turns 1 and 2 behind the back bumper of the 35 machine. As now Scott Negus about to lose 3rd position to Tanner Tallarico, as Tallarico not able to get the spot. So Tallarico once again to the inside of the 55 machine. Now Tallarico will maybe, Yes, he will. Maybe. It's close, but Tallarico now finally clear of Negus. So Negus falls to fourth. Tallarico taking it easy on the early part of this race. Might be coming into his own here, second half of this first fuel run. Further on back, Sam Oliver to the inside of Hayden Swank. This is the battle for P number 5. Further on back, I believe Kyle Munson and Justin Callahan swapping spots as we keep an eye on this battle for P number 5 here at the moment. Swank still holding fairly strong on the top side. Oliver down low. Oliver will drive it on in there, get around the 35 machine. As further on back, Jeff O'Quinn's starting to fall a little bit, running that middle line. Yeah, I wonder how that right front is feeling as he is now losing the spot to Justin Callahan. He lost the spot to Kyle Munson the lap before, maybe going to lose another to Caleb Modulewski. Further in the mid-pack, Dave Payne gets around Stephen Hoffman, so Hoffman continues to slide back in the wrong direction, now to 9th and maybe to 10th if Tim Rogers can get on around him. Up in front, though, battle for the race lead, about a car length between the two of them. Brett Hahn leads away. Greg Wellen keeping the pressure on the race leader. Wellen's keeping an eye on his rear view and seeing Tallarico getting oh so closer. So Wellen has anything, he's got to use it up now to try and get around the 71 machine. Further on back, though, Dave Payton, a man on the move here. He gets around Devin McDonald. That is for P number 7. So Payton with the Pontiac here tonight, able to get around the 18. Now here comes Tim Rogers in the 48. He'll try and do the same as Payton just did a lap before. Out in front, though, battle for the race lead. Well and down low, Hahn up top. They go side by side, drag race to the line. New race leader, Greg Wellen in the 95 machine, takes over the race lead for the first time here tonight. Hahn once again to that middle line in 1 and 2. Maybe trying to search, but definitely not there as Hahn about 2 car lengths back, and Tallarico with that exchange gets ever so closer to these front runners. Further on back, Sam Oliver trying to take that 4th spot away from Scott Negus. They go side by side, drag race through the tri-oval here at Charlotte. They'll dive it down into turn number 1. Oliver all the way to that painted line. Negus in the middle on the seam. Oliver will take over P number 4. Further on back, though, Tim Rogers. That Rogers car is looking pretty sporty second half of the run. Now trying to go around Dave Payton for that 7th position. Payton up against the wall on the top side. Rogers down low. Rogers with the shorter distance through the corner. 1 car in the wall. That's Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman will do a little Dukes the Hazard jump. He'll keep that thing facing the right direction, though, and we stay green as it looks like he'll be able to emerge onto the track safely, but Hoffman falls all the way back to 15th here tonight. So Payton, Rogers able to sort themselves out. Now Devin McDonald all over the back bumper of the 38 machine. McDonald not able to get clear to that inside line of Dave Payton into turn number 3. They stay sorted on out here at the moment as McDonald closes the gap all the way to the back bumper of Dave Payton, but looks like Payton a little bit faster through the middle of the corner. That's what's saving that 38 car at the moment. Payton right now one of 2 Pontiacs. Hahn, the only Buick out here tonight. Best running Monte Carlo is Greg Wellen. Best running Ford at the moment is Scott Negus. So that's where we run in the manufacturer race at the moment. But right now, everyone's spread on out, getting ready for the first round of green flag pit stops. When will we see the first taker? It's going to be coming up here in just a few laps, folks. So Greg Wellen, limited starts this season so far, looking very sporty here in the ones he had. Qualified pole of Dega, had some bad luck there, had to retire early. Now trying to rebound here and doing a great job at it. He leads the way over Hahn, running in second. Hahn, as we get in the second half of the season, trying to chase down Hayden Swank in those precious points. Tanner Tallarico trying to keep D's Lugnuts alive in the team points. Right now, D's Lugnuts sits third in points. They're trying to take second. Sam Oliver, first start in this series. He's looking pretty good. Currently sits fourth. And Scott Negus right now in fifth. Another driver racing for those team points right now. We saw Stephen Hoffman, his teammate, having some issues. He's going to have to carry the team, it looks like, so far here tonight at Charlotte. So this time by at the stripe, 30 laps in the books here tonight of the 110 as we complete lap 29 with 30 on the tower here. So laps flying on by, cars doing about just over half a minute time, so about 35-ish seconds or less here tonight, as everyone mostly spread on out. And so far, none of the leaders taking it down on pit road. Yeah, it looks like everyone gonna run their car out of fuel just about before making the first round of green flag pit stops. And I would say that's probably pretty smart. You don't want to be the last one pitting, and you don't want to be the first one pitting and have a yellow flag come out at a bad time. But if you're guys like Stephen Hoffman and others falling on back, you might want to come sooner than later. Speaking about coming down pit road, that was close between the 71 and 14, but we see the 71 of Brett Hahn down on pit road here. The first taker. We also have Brian Wilderson safely down on pit road as well. So green flag pit stops are upon us here, folks. As we take a look here, we're going to keep an eye on our race leaders. So far, only 2 cars pitting, but one of them being in the top 5, the other in the top 10. This time by, we'll see if the 95 does in fact come on down pit road. It looks like he will stay out another lap. Same with Tanner Tallarico and the rest of the field. So everyone at least doing one more lap here. Our first taker down on this lap, Dave Payne in the Pontiac, able to get that thing wound down just in time. So Justin Callahan, Caleb Modulewski battling for position here late in this first stint here. And I got to think most cars coming on down pit road this time by. And that we don't see our race leader. He stays out another lap. Second place, Tanner Tallarico down. Same with Sam Oliver, Scott Negus. It is a busy pit road here in this third group. Still, Greg Wellen out in front. Race leader leads the way over now Hayden Swank and Tim Rogers in third. So still some shakeups still to come, as we got cars now on old tires, new tires, trying to race around each other. As now Greg Wellen in the 95 machine will get on the binders hard. He will make his way down on pit road. Same with the 35 machine of Hayden Swank, the 48 of Tim Rogers, Kyle Munson, and Devin McDonald all down on pit road. Justin Callahan being tailed by Caleb Modulewski. Stephen Hoffman and Noah Carter, the final takers down on pit road. We keep an eye here on the race off of pit road. Brett Hahn, Tanner Tallarico right there. And Hahn will get the advantage there as he will go flying on by the outside of Tallarico. So now we got to keep an eye on the 95 car. Where does he come out compared to Hahn? As you see Hahn in the distance there, just hit the stripe. Wellen's going to have to be hard on the loud pedal here to keep Hahn behind him, because Hahn's fully up to speed off of turn number 4. Hahn will take over the race lead. Wellen now up into second as Tallarico will get right to the back bumper. 35 laps in the books. First group of green flag pit stops in the books. As I tell you what, big time strategy here. It looks like top 3 either taking 2 sets of tires or no tires based on their pit road time. First car with 4, Sam Oliver doing a full stop. Same with Hayden Swank. Then Brian Wilderson with a 2-tire stop, trying to save some time. Dave Payton with a 4-tire stop as well. So top 3, that's why they have such a huge advantage over the rest of the field, either taking no or just 2 tires. As we see Tanner Tallarico going around the 95 machine of Greg Wellen. I don't think the 95 took any tires. He's trying to save those 2 sets for those final 2 stops. So Wellen's going to have to watch these cars drive on away this stint as Tallarico gets on around and Hahn trying to check out in front. A big time battle here between some cars. Caleb Modulewski taking 2, Devin McDonald 4, Kyle Munson with 2. So we'll see how Devin McDonald gets through this heavy lap traffic with 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Scott Negus trying to get around Dave Payton. Negus will do just that. So Negus having those tires kind of fall on off that last stint, able to, let's say, get some 4 fresh stickers and try and change up that race pace just a little bit as Kyle Munson and Devin McDonald go flying by Jeff O'Quinn there. Looks like O'Quinn may have got a little loose or a little tight and had to chase that car up the speedway. Kyle Munson still holding off Devin McDonald though for that 11th spot. Apparently one of the best battles on track. Another great battle just inside of the top 10. Tim Rogers has chased down Brian Wilderson. Wilderson on the 2-tire strategy. Tim Rogers on 4. Rogers able to go on around. Now interesting here is Sam Oliver. Last time by was able to do a 33.15. We'll see what this lap time is, a 33.27. Greg Wellen in front with no tires was a 34.3. So Oliver able to catch Wellen and Tallarico a little bit. Tallarico last time by a 34.2. So we're going to have to keep an eye on these lap times here. But Sam Oliver reeling in the gap as these laps continue to click on by. He's about 5 seconds back. Now we go a little bit further as we see now Devin McDonald go around Brian Wilderson. Kyle Munson also got around the 951 machine. So Brian Wilderson in this stint falling in the wrong direction, but we see a lot of different strategies playing on out here tonight at Charlotte. Which one will prevail? As it seems like the top of the pit box of the 71 machine giving each other high fives. Hahn's out in front by a 4 and just about a half-second lead over Tanner Tallarico. So with the timing of those last pit stops, folks, we're looking at our next pit window anywhere from lap 60 to 70, let's say. So we'll have to see when the next one comes on out. We just took a look late at that pass from Caleb Modulewski over Jeff O'Quinn. Modulewski then moves back up into P number 13 as still Kyle Munson able to hold off Devin McDonald. So that is still a battle, still one of the closest on the speedway, but Hahn able to run his race out in front, leading the way. Then in second, we go to the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico, kind of in no man's land. Third, Greg Wellen. He was the leader before the green flag pit stops. Now cycles back into third. Sam Oliver in fourth. and catching our third place driver. Then back in fifth, we see the 35 machine of Hayden Swank. So at the moment, everyone kind of running their own race. They're going to the next green flag stop as we got a lot of great looking 87 cars here week in and week out. You gotta love all the retro schemes we see on these cars. As we take a look still at this battle now for ninth, as Devin McDonald once again closing in this gap between these two cars. We ride on board with the 18 of Devin McDonald. You can hear how much these guys are lifting and working these cars here tonight. You can see Devin McDonald pretty smooth on this wheel, but you want to lift, good lift point, that red box there. Want to drive this car all the way down to that paint line if you can hit it. And of course, hard on that throttle, try and get a big run at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Of course, Charlotte 1.5 mile. And I tell you what, it puts on some great racing action. Speaking about some racing action, we head up to the battle for third, or what was one, as Sam Oliver gets around Greg Wellen for that third position. But Wellen, if this race goes green to the end, he might be sitting in a good spot. Still 2 sets of tires over the wall for that 95 car. Wellen's though's got to bring that thing in earlier than later. He doesn't want to lose too much track position from the cars around him. Because if he does pit after lap 50, then you can do one more stop and make it to the end. So Wellen may be running this race kind of in reverse, doing a short second stint on old tires. If I was on top of the box, that's what I would be doing for that 95 car. As now Wellen under fire from Hayden Swank. Swank will dive it in there in turn number 1 and 2 and get around the 95 on the low side. So give P number 4, do the 35 of Hayden Swank. Further on back, Noah Carter able to race his way into the back end of the field after starting on pit road. Carter trying to go around Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman, we saw get a big piece of the wall off of turn number 4 as they continue to stay side by side. This is the battle for 14th on the speedway. As Stephen Hoffman able to keep that spot over Noah Carter. Here in the mid-pack, everyone's separated by about 2 seconds to a second as, we get some takers down pit road. Greg Wellen doing exactly as I called, down on pit road here on lap number 51. He's showing that this middle stint here tonight. Then when do the rest of the cars come on down? As we see big problems for the 35 machine of Hayden Swank, having some sort of technical difficulties as Hayden Swank will drop down in the order, and that is big time playoff implications here tonight. Sam Oliver has now reeled in our second place runner of Tanner Tallarico. How will this shake on out? Oliver on 4 fresh tires. So this shows that if you do take that extra time, you can run down the cars over a full stint. As now Oliver looks to the inside of Tallarico. Oliver down low. He's going to try and paint that inside line. Tallarico is going to run the seam up top. Oliver off of turn number 4 will take over P number 2. Oliver has about 9 seconds to the race leader, so that's going to be pretty much impossible to go this stint. But does Oliver just take fuel on this, or does he take only 2 sets of tires? We'll have to wait and see. As before we get to pit stops here, we're going to go to commercial break. On the other side, we'll pick up green flag racing action. Don't go anywhere, folks.
The American Sim Racing Club, home of the fastest growing fixed setup league on the server, the Dirt Pro Late Model Series, presented by Horsepower Happenings. Every Sunday night on the Turn 3 Racing Network, watch the server's best battle for more than 50 laps at some of the nation's most grueling tracks. From the Bristol Dirt to the Charlotte Dirt Track, Kern County to Fairbury, over 24 drivers a week put it on the line for a shot at over $600 in the Championship Points Fund. Join us every Sunday night at 9:30 for the ASRC Dirt Pro Late Model Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
We come back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and this time by the 71 machine. We'll see the cross flags here tonight. This race flying on by Brett Hahn. We'll see cross flags here at the start finish line, halfway down, halfway home here in race number 9 of the ASRC Living Legend Series. Our first taker in the second round, our second taker in this second round of green flag pit stops is Jeff O'Quinn in the 94 machine. When does the rest of the field come on down? Tallarico did get passed by Oliver, but has not let him go. Tallarico keeping that 14 machine honest. As we see the 951 now, Brian Wilderson down on pit road. Battle for 10th here as Caleb Modulewski gets around the 75 machine of Justin Callahan. So Modulewski will go on around the 75. Dave Payton starting to get some pressure now from the 48 machine of Tim Rogers. Rogers trying to crack into the top 5 for the first time here tonight and take away that 5th place from Dave Payton. Rogers gonna have to do it sooner than later, as this second pit stop window is definitely open for takers when they decide to come on down. Brian Wilderson's finally rolling off of pit road. Wilderson taking a 4-tire stop. Greg Wellen also with a 4-tire stop for that 95 machine. Wellen right now sits the first car a lap down, trying to go through the field. And you can see how much more speed that 95 has compared to the 8 as he tries to unlap himself and tries to eliminate the gap that was produced with taking no tires on that first stint. Still that battle for 5th rages on here as Payton still under fire from Rogers. Rogers about 2 car lengths back, but now we have Greg Wellen with those fresh tires entering the mix. What will they do here? Rogers will, of course, let him go on by. Where does Wellen go on the 38? Looks like Wellen will go to the high side of Payton. This could give the toe to Rogers to try and get around the top side, as Rogers will try and do just that. So Wellen will get on by. Now Rogers, he'll look to the high side, can't quite get the run. Will Rogers try and cross him on over through the tribal? Yes, he will. Tim Rogers to the inside of Dave Payton. Rogers down low, Payton up top. Payton will try and run the wall here. Rogers will try and paint the line, and Rogers off of turn number 2 will take over the 5th spot and be in the top 5 for the first time, as we see our race leader Brett Hahn down on pit road here on lap 60. Sam Oliver will take over the race lead. Tanner Tallarico down on pit road here on 60. Oh, and Tallarico, late brake smoke from that car. Did Tallarico get down to pit road speed in time? We'll keep an eye on the officials here, but Sam Oliver new race leader, first start in this series. He picks up 5 bonus points for a leading lap. First ASRC laps led for Sam Oliver. So 3 out of the top 5 down on pit road. Han off of pit road here. Another 2-tire stop for the 71 machine. He gets rolling here on the banking. Tim Rogers still staying out. Scott Negus also still out, as looks like Dave Payne rolling another 2-tire stop. Sorry, his first 2-tire stop from the 38 machine. And Tanner Tallarico still on pit road. Too fast entering. That is heartbreak for the one crew. Currently was running in the 3rd position. Now we'll have to hope for a miracle to get that lap back. Well, it might be more than 1 lap. We'll have to keep an eye, see how they cycle on out. As Sam Oliver, it looks like the 14 machine going to try and use up those new tires as much as it can. Going to stay out on the speedway as long as possible, as we start to see some sunshine down the backstretch here tonight. So changing track conditions here as Sam Oliver continues to lead the way of race number 9 of the American Sim Racing Club Living Legends here at Charlotte. So a handful of cars down on pit road on 60, then no other takers at the moment. So these guys may be hoping for a yellow or something to come on out and trap some cars a lap down before the end of it. So I believe Oliver last time down on pit road 33, so Oliver can probably go to 66, maybe 67. So we'll have to see if the 14 machine can head down pit road in the next 2 laps. We take a look at a battle for 4th here. Devin McDonald looks like finally able to get around Kyle Munson. So McDonald late in this tire run, finally around the number 8 machine, as we take a look at our race leader, trying to see when he comes down pit road. We'll do another lap, but we see 2nd place Scott Negus getting on the binders here. He'll head down to pit road. Looks like he will make it down safely. So everyone very, very spread on out here tonight as Sam Oliver continues to lead the way. Looks like Caleb Modulewski down on pit road as well. Do we see race leader Sam Oliver down on pit road? No, he'll do at least 1 more lap. Same with Tim Rogers, Devin McDonald, Kyle Munson. So these guys wait until the very last second, try and use up as much as they can on those new tires before heading down on pit road. And now we see a lot of sunshine there in 3 and 4 as we now see our race leader Sam Oliver making his 2nd stop of the night. Oliver, it looks like, will bring it safely down on pit road. Tim Rogers stays on out. Tim Rogers will take 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Looks like Devin McDonald, Kyle Munson, and Stephen Hoffman all stay on out to do at least 1 more lap. So we now take a look at our new race leader in the middle of green flag pit stops, Tim Rogers. I assume we will see him down on pit road this time. Sam Oliver looks like either tires or just fuel, as Tim Rogers big time sideways. He somehow hangs onto that race car as Tim Rogers, did he get slowed down enough to not speed? But Devin McDonald stays on out for another lap. McDonald will get 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Same with Kyle Munson staying on out another round. Stephen Hoffman, Noah Carter, both down on pit road here on lap 69. So that leaves just 2 cars have not visited pit road for the 2nd time. now will make their second pit stops of the day. Dev McDonald down on the apron safely. Kyle Munson will stay on out. He will lead lap number 70. Wow, with everyone getting very spread on out though. Let's take a look at the track map here. So car numbers on the dots. If you see the green circle around a car, that is the car we're looking at. So looking at race leader Kyle Munson stretching out the fuel tank as long as possible, as Munson will stay out yet another lap. Wow, Kyle Munson finding that extra fuel in this car, is staying on out for a very, very long time. As you would have to for sure think we would have to see Kyle Munson come down on pit road this time. Kyle Munson slowed down the backstretch. I think Kyle Munson's out of fuel here, so Munson's gonna have to kind of coast his car to the pit stall. He ran that thing completely dry, trying to get as much time as he can, maybe try and make it to the end, but I think he's just short on fuel to make it to the end here tonight. So Kyle Munson down on pit road. This will hand over the lead to Brett Hahn, who will have about a 7 or 8 second advantage over Greg Wellen. Hahn on 2 tires, Wellen on 4, then Sam Oliver in 3rd on 2, Dave Payton in 4th on 2, and Scott Negus will round out the top 5 as they run. Oh man, folks, looks like cars trapped 1 lap down after the green flag pit stops. Noah Carter, Stephen Hoffman, Caleb Modulewski, Tanner Tallarico, John DeMeester all sit 1 lap down here at the moment. And don't forget, folks, Greg Wellen was the first car to pit in that second stint of green flag stop, so Wellen's probably only good to lap 82, 83, so we'll see him down pit road in about 10 laps or so to kick off the final stops of the night. Noah Carter here trying to put himself not 1 lap down. He'll race around the race leader here of Hahn, and Noah Carter will find himself back on the lead lap here. We take a look here, battle for maybe 8th as Justin Callahan trying to hold off Brian Wilderson. Callahan on 2 tires or no tires. Wilderson definitely on 4 tires. As we saw, Noah Carter will get around Jeff O'Quinn for position. Now Noah Carter will try and get around Kyle Munson. So Carter having no luck yet so far with a yellow. He's able to somehow just barely stay on the lead lap. And now Carter will be inside the top 10 for the first time here tonight once he gets around the 8 of Kyle Munson. So Noah Carter not giving up on a bad start. He currently sits now 10th. As now Justin Callahan under big time pressure from Brian Wilderson. So Callahan's still able to hold pretty strong over the 951 machine. Still a battle for that 8th position on track at the moment. As you see, Brian Wilson a little bit faster than the 71 machine in the middle of the corner. Looks like Callahan will try and defend that inside lane. Wilderson gonna try and go around the long way. Maybe not. Wilderson will lift early and once again try and go around the 75 machine. I don't think we've seen any successful passes on the top side with fairly even tires tonight, so Wilderson's going to have to try and set him back up to get on around. We take a look at our driver. Tough break from the green flag stops. Tanner Tallarico currently sitting in that 15th position at the moment. One lap down. He's hoping for a yellow and maybe some magic after that, as he sits about a third of a track back from the race leader, so he'll be very hard pressed to unlap himself during this stint. Take a look at a battle for 11th on the speedway. Caleb Modulewski to the inside of Kyle Munson. Munson will run up top. Modulewski down low off of turn number 2. It's going to be a drag race down the backstretch. And both those guys looking in the mirror. They see the race leader there, so they can't battle for too long. Or I would say go at risk at both of them going a lap down here. Modulewski will clear the number 8 machine off of turn number 4, but now Munson has a mirror full of the race leader here tonight. Munson's going to try his best to not go a lap down, but it looks like Munson a little bit high through 1 and 2. That will open up the door for Hahn to put now up to the top 11 a lap down. Munson will drive it in there deep, able to hold onto the spot. We see our first taker for the final pit stop of the night. Brian Wilderson down on pit road for the final time. Same with the 94 of Jeff O'Quinn. So Hahn will get around Tim Rogers, easily around the 38 machine of Dave Payton. So Payton will fall back to 4th here. Tim Rogers up inside the top 5, now inside the top 3, as we see Greg Wellen down on pit road for the final stop of the night. Looks like Wellen may go right sides on the car, as he will go 1 lap down to our race leader. So a lot of racing still to be had here tonight as we get close to our final stages here. As Brett Hahn has the lead over now Tim Rogers, who currently sits in 2nd, Dave Payton in 3rd, Scott Negus in 4th, Sam Oliver in 5th. So a very big shakeup with the green flag stops here tonight. Further on back, we take a look at a battle here. Devin McDonald gets around Justin Callahan. Scott Negus down on pit road in the 55 machine. So Negus will make his final stop of the night here. Take a look here throughout the field, trying to see any sort of battles or anything. And oh, contact. 1 car goes on around. The 86 of Stephen Hoffman will spin here, and we get our first yellow flag of the night. And look at this, folks. Brett Hahn down on pit road. Did he make it to pit road in time before the pit road closed? He's driving all the way through. This could be a tough break for the race leader, who had a 20-second advantage over the field here, as contact between Stephen Hoffman and Brian Wilderson. Wilderson will go call tonight. You can see his damaged car on pit road. Stephen Hoffman hoping to limp it on around. So yellow flag out on the speedway. Looks like new race leader Tim Rogers will take over the point. So with Hahn coming down pit road, That opens the door for a lot of cars out in front of Rogers that could get a wave round. Tim Rogers leads the way over Dave Payton down on pit road. Noah Carter will cycle into pits third. So, wow, what a race for him if he can rebound. Then Dev McDonald, Sam Oliver, Justin Callahan, Caleb Modulewski. And yeah, look at the back of this line. Brad Hahn will sit there. Then a lot of cars here trapped one lap down. They will get at least waved around the pace car here. But man, big time shakeup with a yellow flag in the middle of green flag pit stops. We'll be right back after commercial break to conclude our last 25 laps. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here to Charlotte Motor Speedway, back from our first yellow flag as the iRacing pace car heads down pit road. Kyle Munson, Scott Negus, Jeff O'Quinn, Hayden Swank all lapped down, but Tim Rogers leads the field back to green flag as Rogers goes through the gears here. Rogers' cars could be picking up his first win of the season as Kyle Munson very tight there in 1 and 2. He will get clear, but Munson on new tires. He's hoping to race his way back the hard way. Gonna try and get around Tim Rogers here as Munson will do just that. Rogers will let him on by as Munson now hoping for a quick yellow as the rest of the field dances on through here. Sam Oliver to the inside of Tim Rogers. Rogers with a quick stop. I don't think Rogers took any tires. Rogers into the wall there in 1 and 2. Rogers will lose the race lead and 2, maybe 3 spots. As now he goes side by side with Noah Carter. Carter to the inside here of the 48. Then Dev McDonald hot on his tail as Dave Payton finds an opening. He'll slide on in. Scott Negus will get a piece of the wall. Negus will go sliding through the grass here. He'll go to the inside through pits. Luckily, no pit workers near the wall, but we stay green as he slid off the racing surface. So we stay racing as Sam Oliver trying to make it a perfect start to his ASRC debut. He's out in front here with under 20 laps to go. Man, did this race get blown wide open with that yellow flag. It goes Oliver, then Noah Carter. Carter was running 17th for a while. He's looking for the race lead here in tonight's race. Man, if Carter could get the job done, what a rebound here. He'll show the field that to never give up as Carter will take over the point. Noah Carter out in front here. Devin McDonald will try and go around Sam Oliver. Oliver either on no tires or just two. I believe just two because he took for the first one to the second. And I think the last two the final time. So Oliver's handling might not be the best here as Devin McDonald takes over P number 2. Dave Payton will try and take over P number 3. The guy that was leading before the green flag pit stops, entering closed pits. Thought he had a great car, maybe one to win. Now currently finds himself in 6th and having to get through a lot of cars in front of him before the end of this one. Now Dave Payton trying to go around Sam Oliver for that second position. Payton down low, Oliver up top. Payton will clear him off of turn number 4. Payton with the advantage, but Oliver with a big run. Oliver able to get back down and just shut the door on Modulewski. Now Modulewski under fire from the 71 machine. How will this shake on out? Top 7 all in a line. One car that wanted to see that yellow, Tanner Tallarico back on the lead lap. Stephen Hoffman, Greg Wellen all there as well. So a lot of guys getting that huge break that they needed. Tanner Tallarico, one of those drivers, got a penalty for speeding on pit road. Now we take a look at a battle for 5th here. Modulewski up top, Hahn down low. Modulewski has the run, a little bit of draft from the 14 machine. He's able to stay side by side in the drag race with Hahn, but through 3 and 4 that time. Modulewski will slide on in behind the 71. Out in front, Noah Carter trying to put Kyle Munson back one lap down. As if these guys stay side by side for too long, this could open up the door for Devin McDonald to try and get a win here tonight. As they go side by side here, Noah Carter will get clear, maybe not quite, of the 8 machine. They stay side by side here. Further on back, Stephen Hoffman trying to get around Greg Wellen in the 95. So this is a battle for 8th on the speedway here as one car goes on around. Sam Oliver, I believe, got tagged there. So Oliver gets a piece of the wall. That is a tough break for him as he has now left side damage. I believe Oliver was battling with Caleb Modulewski there, and I believe those two cars did make contact here, and we find ourselves under our second yellow flag of the night. And now it's going to be a shootout to the finish. As Noah Carter out in front, Devin McDonald second, Dave Payne third, Brett Hahn fourth, Caleb Modulewski fifth. We're going to go to commercial break for the final time. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The American Sim Racing Club, home of the fastest growing fixed setup league on the server, the Dirt Pro Late Model Series, presented by Horsepower Happenings. Every Sunday night on the Turn 3 Racing Network, watch the server's best battle for more than 50 laps at some of the nation's most grueling tracks. From the Bristol Dirt to the Charlotte Dirt Track, Kern County to Fairbury, over 24 drivers a week put it on the line for a shot at over $600 in the championship points fund. Join us every Sunday night at 9:30 for the ASRC Dirt Pro Late Model Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
So here we go, folks. Just under a 10-lap shootout to decide who will pick up the win here tonight. Noah Carter, Devin McDonald, Dave Payton all have not won yet this season. Brett Hahn trying to make it 2 wins. Caleb Modulewski looking for the first. That's our top 5 coming to the green here as we wait for the iRacing pace car to head down pit road. Noah Carter in the 87 machine ran around 17th the beginning part of this race, leading the field to green with under 10 laps to go. Noah Carter on the loud pedal here, going through the gears. We go back, green flag racing action here at Charlotte. Oh boy, folks, how will this one end? Don't forget, if we get a yellow flag within 5 laps to go, the race is official at this point. So Carter's going to try and keep the rest of the field behind. Further on back, Brett Hahn to the inside of Dave Payton. They'll go side by side through 3 and 4 here. Hahn will get clear of Payton. Payton will look to the inside of Hahn, not quite have the opening. So now Hahn will try and reel in Dev McDonald and maybe Noah Carter, but running out of those precious laps. As that time by, we get 8 laps to go. Further on back, Tanner Tallarico trying to work over Stephen Hoffman. Tallarico will duck low here, look to the inside of the 86 machine. They'll go side by side here through 3 and 4 as Tallarico will get that spot to move Tallarico up into 8th here. Further on front, Greg Wellen trying to get around Justin Callahan. He will do so here through 1 and 2. Up in front, almost 3 wide there, 1 and 2 is Brett Hahn, Dave Payton, all trying to get around this 18 machine of Devin McDonald. Hahn will get a piece of the wall down the backstretch here. Doesn't quite have the run, has to tuck in line as Tallarico now trying to get around Wellen for 6. This is a great rebound from Tallarico, but maybe the best one of the night. Noah Carter still out in front, about a second advantage over Devin McDonald, who has a mirror full of Hahn and Payne right there waiting as well. Through 3 and 4 they come. Caleb Modulewski right there as well. Hahn all over the back bumper of McDonald. Hahn will look low. McDonald will block him all the way to the inside. Hahn has a nose in there. McDonald will slam the door. Holy smokes, folks. If neither of those guys backed on out, that could have ended in disaster. Now Payton to the outside of Hahn. They go side by side. This time by 5 laps to go here tonight at Charlotte. Man, oh man, some great racing from second on back. Noah Carter loves what he's seeing, though, as he is able to drive on away from this pack, as now Hahn will just barely get clear. He'll slam the door on Dave Payton as Sam Oliver trying to get some spots back here late. He looks to the inside of Tim Rogers. Everyone else kind of riding on around here. This time by, we see 4 laps to go. We take a look at the best battle on the speedway. You could throw a blanket over these 4 cars as they try and find any sort of opening. Hahn will look high. He'll try and find some momentum up top. Nothing doing there, so Hahn will have to slide back in behind McDonald. And Tanner Tallarico catching on this group. Hahn all over the back bumper of McDonald. McDonald misses the bottom there. This could be opening Hahn needed. They go side by side, drag race to the line for second. Hahn with the advantage there at the line. They'll head down into turn number 1. And, oh man, make more contact. Hahn and McDonald both slide up the racetrack. So McDonald loses 2 spots, maybe even 3, as Modulewski now tries to get the inside of the 18. Hahn will try and cover over Dave Payton as this battle's still raging on from second on back. It's still anyone's race. This time by, though, Noah Carter will see popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 more laps to go. And now Caleb Modulewski will try and cover, get around Dev McDonald. McDonald will go low. Here comes Tanner Tallarico, though. Tallarico catching this as these cars battle so hard. They are slowing each other on up as now Modulewski to the outside of McDonald. Peyton looking to the inside of Hahn here, as here comes Tallarico. Peyton going to do the same move Hahn did to McDonald. Peyton to the inside of Hahn. White flag, one more lap to go. Noah Carter out there with the advantage, but Peyton will take over second. Dave Peyton up into P number 2. Hahn will slide back to third. For fourth, it's still side by side, anyone's race, as Modulewski gets the run down the backstretch. Tallarico will pound the wall. Tallarico trying to get to the outside of Devin, not quite anything doing, as the field will head through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. It will be Noah Carter picking up his first win of ASRC. Noah Carter picks up the win. Dave Payton second, Brett Hahn third, Caleb Modulewski fourth. Devin McDonald rounds out the top 5. Wow, what a race, folks, as Noah Carter becomes the 8th different winner this season of the 87 series. Man, that was a great race to the end, folks. That race got very interesting in the second half of it, but here on the front stretch, Noah Carter will burn it on down. He'll spin it through the grass here tonight, and your race winner here for race number 9 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Noah Carter will burn it on down. Noah Carter burning it down in the grass here tonight. Now up on the speedway. Some big time burnouts. You can tell he is pumped up for his first ASRC win here this season at Charlotte. Fans are on their feet as Noah Carter will bring it to a stop here tonight. And that will do it for tonight's race in action here, as Noah Carter not quite done, but we're going to go jump over to tonight's race results. Noah Carter picking up the win. You can still see him doing burnouts down here on the speedway. Dave Payton will finish second, be the biggest mover of the night. Third going to Brett Hahn, and Brett Hahn will take over the points lead. Fourth going to Caleb Modulewski. Rounding out the top 5 is the 18 machine of Devin McDonald. 6th going to the 1 of Tanner Tallarico. 7th, Greg Wellen in the 95. 8th is Stephen Hoffman in the 86. 9th is Sam Oliver in the 14. Rounding out the top 10 is Tim Rogers in the 48, with 11th going to Justin Callahan in the 75. 12th will be the 2 machine of John DeMeester. 13th is Jeff O'Quinn in the 94. 14th is Scott Negus in the 55. 15th will be the 35 of Hayden Swank. 16th, Kyle Munson in the 8th. And rounding out the starting field tonight, finishing 17th, is the 951 machine of Brian Woodison. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning on in here. This will conclude race number 8. Of course, race number 9. Race number 10, though, next Tuesday, October 24th, at the Dover Motor Speedway. And, of course, that following broadcast hopefully coming to you on Thursday night. So thanks again, everyone, for tuning on in. I have been Brett the Jet from Turn 3 Race Network. Be sure to tune in to Turn 3 throughout the week, as we have a lot of great broadcasters, a lot of great series to cover. And, of course, I got to give a shout out. Be sure to tune into Sunday nights as the Dirt ASRC Pro Late Model Series makes its return after a week break. You won't want to miss that, as that is some great racing action. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and everyone have a great week. Stay safe, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.
The American Sim Racing Club, home of the fastest growing fixed setup league on the server, the Dirt Pro Late Model Series, presented by Horsepower Happenings. Every Sunday night on the Turn 3 Racing Network, watch the server's best battle for more than 50 laps at some of the nation's most grueling tracks. From the Bristol Dirt to the Charlotte Dirt Track, Kern County to Fairbury, over 24 drivers a week put it on the line for a shot at over $600 in the Championship Points Fund. Join us every Sunday night at 9:30 for the ASRC Dirt Pro Late Model Series on the Turn 3 Racing Network.